Hey guys, my name is Thom, and this is some Kill Confirmed on Mission, and welcome to the next part of How I Met Melinders. I decided to go ahead and record this. It is right now 12:47 in the morning, and normally I'd be in bed or not doing it this late, but Melinda's out of town, which really was like an appropriate time to record this episode, because I don't know, this is the first trip she's taken. She's taken a couple of trips since we've started dating. But this is the first trip where I really just, like, killer felt lonely. I don't know why I worded it that way, but yeah, it really hit me hard last night, and then kind of all day today. I've been kind of just feeling mopey since she's been out of the house, and normally I'm a pretty introverted guy. And I tend to, I don't know, a long time ago when we took these silly personality tests, I tended to, when I found out what introverted was, it's like, oh, that makes sense, because I'm friendly and I like to meet people. I do tend to recharge and like to have my time to think, which, I don't know, gets me into trouble. But I'm definitely shying away from where I originally wanted to take this, which is why I started this series in the first place, because I've been watching this guy's videos. His name's Danny. He's got a great channel. You definitely should check it out. I'm going to try and remember to put a link in the description. But he recently went through cannot talk. He went through a breakup. See, normally I'd start over and be like, fuck, I'm going to edit this out. But I'm going to keep it going because I'm trying to be loosey-goosey with it. But back to topic. Come on, Thom. All right. So he went through a breakup. And he took it pretty hard, and that was originally the intent of the series was to kind of share with you how I met the love of my life, because every day, more and more, I start to see that with Melinda. Well, I mean, it's maximalized now. I'm gonna definitely be proposing to her soon. Here in the near future, I'm having to save money. Rings are pretty fucking expensive, but the key concept was it took me forever to get to this point. And each breakup, I attempted to learn something new or try to, make it better than the last. And, in some cases, each relationship kinda, at least was different. And I don't know, for a guy like me, half the time it was, killing loneliness. Which, can be like a bastard thing on my part. I genuinely was interested and cared about the girl. But, I don't know, there were a lot... I didn't voice problems, I didn't vocalize being unhappy in certain situations. And I kind of I internalized it. I kept it in, and I just, I wanted things to work out, and didn't want to rock the boat. And it was a mistake, because I grew to resent each girl in the different scenarios that I've found myself in my love life. I would kind of, I'm trying to even word it. It wouldn't be like blame things on them. I just, own shortcomings, I guess. I don't know how to word it, so I'm sorry for the awkward pause there. But I think, like, the longer, they say, like, hindsight's 20/20, and it never went that way for me. The worst part about breakups for me was that kind of first couple mornings after, or when you're trying to go to sleep, and waking up, and all those little times that you have when you're alone during a breakup were the worst for me. In college. Last year for me, and what happened was, I tried to find this balance with Melinda where I would try and assert my independence, because shortly, after my last relationship, and we'll get there, consider this the recap episode. I might even label it like that. But, getting to Melinda after my last breakup, I found myself actually comfortable being alone to some degree, or at least being single. I was comfortable. I was spending a healthy amount of time with friends, And I don't, I found that what I struggle with balance, and moderation. With some things I can moderate greatly. If I enjoy it though, I tend to get obsessive about it, or want to. I don't know if obsessive is the right word, but definitely, I think about doing it a lot. I spend a lot of time and energy toward whatever it is that's caught my fancy at that time. And I, feeling good like that, and being able to have time to I kind of chase hobbies and goals. I wasn't quite ready to give it up, and I wasn't quite ready to put myself into a position that those things could be taken away again. But I rolled the dice, and I definitely, there's no time limit on that. I might have said this before. We might have talked about this, but there's no time limit on when. It literally is just a feeling. That's how I'd describe it, and what I'd recommend is, that you ask yourself personally when you're ready to be in a relationship, and when you're, I do recommend taking things slowly. It helps out a ton. I just, there's no point in rushing into it. Every situation that I've found myself rushing into, it's gone horribly wrong. But for those that, have trouble dealing with the loneliness, I don't know. What works for me is finding a hobby that really keeps you busy for the moments that you're going to find yourself alone. Because friends are amazing, and that would be the next kind of resource that I would say reach out to is, really start spending a lot of time with friends and hanging out and, talking their ear off about it. But they only, as patient as your friends are, they're only there for you for so long. They have their own lives. And of course, you don't want every encounter with them when you are feeling down to be about how you're feeling depressed or lonely, And so really, trying to push it out of your head. I know that it's easier said than done, but, that was how I dealt with all those feelings. I was trying, because I was, trying to leave comments on Danny's videos that were like, or, tweet at him, because I knew he was going through a rough time. And for me, sometimes when you are going through a rough time, somebody asking how you're feeling, or, showing you that kindness, that makes all the difference in the world. And hell, people don't do that enough for each other anyway. But, it had me thinking about how I dealt with it, and the odd way of telling someone that, time heals all wounds, but it really does. It's just finding the way to pass it as fast as possible without really having to focus on it. Shit, I don't know if any of that made sense, guys, but I just really, I wanted to get that out of my chest. I hope you guys are doing well. Melinda and I are getting ready to go on vacation soon. I am definitely ready for her to be home. I am going to be lazy and I guess enjoy the rest of my night. And I hope you guys are doing well. Probably already said that. Melinda and I are doing a playthrough of Bioshock, or Bioshock 2. So if that's your thing and you had some free time in your hands, check out that series. We're having a lot of fun with it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys.